And all right, so once again, welcome to the Expert in the House. I'm Bart, and this is Melissa Kotter. We're Triple Diamond Executives with ASEA. We're very grateful to be involved with this amazing company, and we'd like to welcome you to the call tonight. So this is a great new format that we're having so that you can invite your guests and really create the momentum of what we've got here. So just to start off with, we'd like to share just a little bit about our story. This is a picture of Melissa and I with the founder of ASEA, Mr. Vertus Norton. Very proud and honored to be associated with him. But maybe you might want to just share how you got involved with this industry to begin with.
Yeah. So I've been involved with the network marketing industry for 17 years. I had 3 chiropractic clinics in Far North Queensland. I had a business partner, and we were working extremely long hours. We loved every aspect of it. We loved being self-employed. Sometimes we didn't love all our employees, but we enjoyed being able to be free to that extent. However, we were extremely time poor, and particularly in this day and age where there just never seems to be enough time in the day, it's insane some days. Really felt that way in the clinics because we'd see the first patient at 8 a.m. and often we were there at 9 p.m. 5 days a week. When we went on holidays, we weren't sure what business we'd come back to. So I enrolled in an MBA full-time because I knew there was more I wanted to give, more of me that I wanted to be able to discover and to be able to leverage my finances for greater wealth. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's our birthright to be wealthy. We can help a lot more people when we have some funds in the bank account than we can if we don't. So a patient at the time approached me and had told me about this industry. I took my first overseas trip to America to check out the company and the industry at the time, and I have absolutely never looked back. So I graduated with my MBA and have been 17 years full-time in this industry.
So for me, I've been involved with this industry for about 24 years, and we were really at a place when we heard about ASEA where we were starting over. We had been involved, had a successful run with a previous company, but that company unfortunately had lost its soul. They had made some changes in the management, the compensation plan, different things to where we just didn't have the same faith and belief in that company. So the integrity of a company was extremely important to us. We needed to know who we were in business with and what we had our hands on in terms of the technology. We wanted to be involved with something that was special. The other thing that made things sort of interesting for us was the fact that we were really starting over in other ways too, because we had found ourselves in a very frustrating and devastating legal challenge that just kept going on and on and on. So literally it was a start over for us. And we had to get it right. We had to get it right. And so some good friends of ours that had been involved with the previous company that we were involved with gave us a call and said, Bart, you need to take a look. Bart and Melissa, you need to take a look at this company called ASEA. Truthfully, we really didn't get it at first. We thought ASEA was just some sort of fancy water, another good nutritional supplement. I knew it had to be good, but finally they said, hey, you need to take a really serious look at this. And I'm so glad that we finally did. Because
you flew to Salt Lake City
at
the time, and you had a real life-changing moment, so to speak, when you met the founders.
Well, I did. In fact, I was sitting in the boardroom after meeting Vertus and Tyler and these people. And I remember what Tyler, Vertus's son, we'll show a picture of him in a second, but he said, you may not be the right fit for us. He said, for us, it's really important that as a company, we always want to put our principles above the ego and economic motivations. Principles come first. And he says, we also want to drive up our capacity. I knew that these guys were the real thing because their goal was to make a difference in the world. And I remember sitting in that boardroom and literally having goosebumps. I knew that I felt like I'd been lost in the desert for 20 years and I had finally found my home. Everything, ASEA just ticks every box.
We knew what we were not looking for. And for me, we're going to talk a little bit now about the genesis of ASEA, introduce you to Tyler and Vertus Norton, actually in just a few minutes. But one thing to keep in mind when we get there is to watch the ASEA Genesis video, because that was the moment I made the decision that has completely changed my life for the better forever, and I'm so grateful for it. But it's important too to have a look at, why people have a look at ASEA, and there's 6 reasons that they do so.
So as we look at those 6 reasons, the number one issue is maybe looking for something that can help personal health challenge that you might be dealing with. If you're on this call because you're dealing with some major challenge or crisis, I can assure you that we've seen some pretty remarkable results. Maybe you know someone that you care about. Look, I think we all know people that that are dealing with some pretty serious issues, challenges. And the question that I would present is, if you knew someone that was hurting, someone that you care about, someone that you love, and if you thought you had something that could make a huge difference in their life, would you tell them about it? I hope the answer for all of us is of course. Also, what if we could show you how to look and feel younger? Anybody interested in looking 23% younger in the next 28 days? Say aye. Absolutely. And we'll show you some results there. Athletic performance. What would an athlete do to have a competitive edge? Well, quite often they'll do all kinds of crazy stuff, some that might not be legal, but we can show people how to have a very competitive edge, legally, ethically, with a product that can make a huge difference. Now, for us, a proactive approach to health was pretty important to us because, look, we all know people that all of a sudden their life has been turned upside down because of a health challenge. I remember a doctor years ago said, "May you never know what you're preventing." And what a profound statement that is, because whether it's a heart attack, a stroke, aneurysm, whatever, or diagnosed with some major illness, the best way to deal with it is to not get it in the first place. And then unapologetically, I'll tell you that I was very excited about the business model because word of mouth is by far the best method of marketing, and particularly when you've got a technology that nobody else has, everybody needs and wants, and where it's positioned for such incredible, massive growth. We're very excited about the idea and the ability to create reproductive residual income. So we'll talk a little bit about that too. Regardless, whatever your reason is for joining us today, you're going to leave with the answers that you came here for. So just let's have some fun as we go through this, and we'll walk through the product and the company a little bit more.
One of the burning questions we had, which is a deal breaker, is the company had to be financially stable for obvious reasons. You're going to align yourself with any company and give of your time. You've got to know that it's going to be there for the long haul. And more importantly, really, when it came down to it for me, was the integrity level of the company. And that always starts at the top culturally and filters down. So we'd like to introduce you to Virtus and Tyler Norton, who are the reason for changing the lives of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people across the globe.
Look, there's a video that Melissa mentioned. ASEA'Genesis.com is where you can go to find a video that tells the story of the beginning. But let me just summarize real quickly. Virtus Norton is one of the smartest business minds in the world. He was the vice president for strategic business development for Kraft Food. He ran a $40 billion operation. He's been written up in Harvard Business Review for his business strategy skills. He taught those skills to his son, Tyler, who was also a Fortune 50 executive. And through a series of events, these gentlemen ended up acquiring this technology that is now known as ASEA. And look, they took a test pilot group of 40 people after they had developed, perfected, stabilized the molecules. And they took a test group of 40 people, that 6 of whom were in a very serious state of health. And they said, you've got free access to this product. They wanted to find out, will people use it? How will they benefit from it? They came back 2 months later to discover that test group of 40 had turned into 135 people in 20 different countries. These people were shipping it to people they cared about all over the globe. They knew they had a product that would really move via word of mouth. The reason that this is such a profound story is because these gentlemen also met with a pharmaceutical company at that time, because they thought, well, we've perfected this product. We're going to go ahead and flip this technology. We're going to sell it. And they turned down an offer that was literally generational wealth, because one of the conditions was that they were going to have to shut it down. It was their commitment to make sure that this product and technology got out to the world, got out to humanity, is the reason that we have the ability to share this with you tonight. So again, I encourage you to watch the ASEA Genesis story, but we're very honored to be associated with these individuals.
Because of Virtus and Tyler, ASEA grow very strategically. So from a financial point of view, it's not at all surprising when you know them and their backgrounds, as Bart's described, that this company has been debt-free since their 7th month in business. They've generated well over $450 million globally. They're on target to hit well and truly over $100 million this year. And what was important to me in particular when we were doing our research into ASEA, they own their own manufacturing facility, which we had an opportunity to take a tour through, in fact, several times now. And the reason why that's important is because they get to protect their patents, and they get to have complete control over the quality. And we've been aligned in other companies before where the quality control went out the window, and when you can't stand behind the product and the technology, you've got some serious issues on your hands. So we're grateful to them that they've had the insight to build a production facility that's set up to well and truly cater for the $1 billion in annual production that they're headed for within the next 3 to 5 years. Now, when it comes to integrity, Tyler Norton is an absolute inspiration. On the Gold Coast, he's coming out in a few weeks. We hope you have the personal pleasure of meeting him. He is a giant in terms of his spirit. And at the end of the day, he says it's people that matter the most. This isn't lip service. This is who he is. And this is who ASEA are. The most important person is the one right in front of you. And that's such a good reminder for each of us to know, be present with the people that we're around. You know, be with them because they're really important. And it comes down to really as an ethos. ASEA's culture is about managing your motives. So never let your ego or economic motivations trump your commitment to living in alignment with true principles. Interestingly enough, the 3 years we've been involved with ASEA, we've never met an egomaniac. They just don't seem to come into the fold, or if they do, they don't stay long. So that's testimony to what Virtus and ASEA and Tyler have built. In terms of building your capacity, this is so true. We all know that we're valued in life in a large measure to the degree that we make ourselves valuable. And in ASEA, we're so grateful because every cent and dollar we earn is a result of being able to change somebody's life. This motto really encapsulates everything for us when it comes to ASEA, the company. It's believe, belong, become. We've never felt that we belonged anywhere else more than what we do with ASEA, and we wish that experience for you too. In terms of believing in the company, this industry and the technology, it's so easy to build a really high belief because they're in partnership with us. It's amazing. In terms of becoming, really, aren't we all here to become the best version of ourselves that we can become? And in relationship to each other, and thanks to this company, we get to really soar. So we're extremely grateful for that opportunity.
So, you know, you can have the very best products in the world, but unless you've got a combination of some other important things, you have nothing. And that's why we're so impressed with the culture and the people behind it. Now, speaking of products, we do believe we've got the best product in the world because these products are protected by multiple patents, dozens of patents, as a matter of fact. What we're talking about specifically is redox signaling molecules.
The best way to understand these molecules is to look at health at the cellular level, and more specifically at the foundational level, because we live and die at the cellular level. And newsflash, if our cells aren't healthy, then we're not healthy. It's just how it works. So when we look at a pyramid, redox signaling molecules, their job is to keep our cells talking. They're messenger molecules. We have 75 trillion cells in our body. And what these molecules do, their job is to detect disturbances, imbalances, anything that's not right. They go out there and they detect the problem. They protect the healthy cells around the issue. And then it's really cool. They make a decision with the neighbouring cells to decide whether or not they're going to repair the damaged cell or they're going to replace it altogether. And if they decide to replace that cell, it's then filled in by a neighbouring cell that divides in its place. It's so cool. So cells form tissues that form organs that form systems that then make us specifically and very uniquely who we are.
Look, so virtually every major body system and function is regulated through these redox molecules. In fact, every disease or illness is literally, it's a deficiency in redox molecules. So these little molecules are, as Melissa mentioned, are formulated in the cell, and they formulate in about a millisecond, and the body needs to use them within that period of time. So all you got to do is just look and say, what kind of cells do we have? We've got heart cells and blood cells and brain cells, skin cells, and any of those challenges that people might have. This is going to help boost your body's ability to do what it's meant to do best. Now, the problem is that as we age, we produce fewer and fewer of these molecules. That's, so, hey, if our body produces these, why do we need to supplement with more? And it's exactly that reason. We just don't heal the way that we did when we were kids. So the fact is, if we can't fix the cell, then we can't get well. And with, the daily challenges that we have, stress, environmental toxins, everything else, we need to give our body the best chance that it can to heal better.
As an example, a 70-year-old would only operate at about 30% efficiency with their redox signaling molecules, and a 50-year-old about 50%. So we're so fortunate because we've got the only technology and products in the world that can help supplement that diminished supply. So everybody needs these molecules, everybody. So how do they do it? Bart said they're stable outside the body only for a millisecond. So ASEA have created that across a 3-day heavily patented process, electrochemical process, which starts with pristine salt water. And then what they do is they break down the salt water into free-floating atoms of sodium, chloride, hydrogen, and oxygen. And then the magic really happens in step 3, where all the molecules are restructured into stabilized redox signaling molecules, the exact same molecules that are found inside our bodies. And it all happens here at the manufacturing facility in Pleasant Grove, Utah, I referred to earlier.
So look, this is the flagship product that ASEA came out with initially, which is the liquid supplement. And people were putting this liquid supplement in spray bottles. They were spraying it in their eyes and finding that their eyesight was improving. They were having to change their eyeglass prescription, for example. They were spraying it on their skin, and their skin challenges were getting better. And so they knew they had an application for a skincare product. And so what actually happened was they developed what's called Renew 28. And Renew 28 is for the whole skin and body, for that matter. It's these same molecules in a gel. People are having fantastic. So we're talking about cellular health from the inside out and the outside in. You can see, obviously, that the skincare line has been expanded into a full skincare line. And these products are certified by BioAgilytix as being REDOX certified. So laboratory certified, you know exactly what it is. It's not, for example, expensive salt water from Salt Lake City.
Because every batch of ASEA that's produced, they send it off to BioAgilytix in North Carolina. And as Bart say, they certify that there are, in fact, trillions of stabilized molecules in each bottle, which is one of the blessings that we get to distribute these products through word-of-mouth marketing, because if it sat on a shelf, you simply wouldn't know that. And this technology is too important to not get it in the hands of the people who need it the most, which is why we love this industry. So ASEA products are the only place in the world you will find these molecules outside of the body. They're 100% safe as swallowing your own saliva, literally. They're completely non-toxic. Every toxicity study known to man has been thrown at ASEA, and no toxicity, even after millions of doses across 36 countries have been consumed or rubbed on people rubbing it on their skin. There's no toxicity. And what's extremely important is these molecules are native to the body. There's not a lot out there that's native in terms of products, because most come under the banner of natural, which means that once it's applied, ingested, even say, for example, an organic tomato, the body still has to convert it into something else, but not these molecules. The body recognizes them as molecules that it makes itself. These molecules have intelligence, and the body puts them to work straight away. So they're working on 100% of the time on 100% of the people at the cellular level. So here's some other interesting points that may be of particular interest to you. ASEA only develop products with the highest integrity.
So just to take a quick look at the full product line, what they've done is they've added a serum in here, which is a super concentrated version that you could use on, for example, certain challenging trouble spots, sun damage, that sort of thing. And then there's 2 additional products that they've added into the skincare line. One is a foaming cleanser. I just use that as like a foaming shaving cream for guys. This is totally unisex. And then there's also a moisturizer, which actually has probiotics for the skin. So this whole skincare line has been designed to work synergistically with the whole body. Now, look, the skincare is a massive industry. It's 20 times larger than the vitamin industry. So, you know, as a guy, I wasn't quite sure what to think about skincare, but I got to tell you, I'm very excited about it. This is hey guys, we got we got skin too, right? And it's really simple for guys to use as well as women.
In terms of my favorite product, even though it's not highly functional, meaning it doesn't contain the molecules, I absolutely am in love with the moisturizer. I totally love it. So they've done a really great job of putting together 2 other products to complement the redox molecules to prepare them for the best absorption in the body as well. Here's some phenomenal photos, before and after photos over 21 days or 28 days or less.
All of these are 28 days or less, except for the one on the left is only 3 weeks. And you can see that Ray Doon she didn't actually think she was having good results until she took the before and the after photo, and you can see the amazing difference literally in 3 weeks. So whether it's wrinkles or whether it's the redness and the irritation that affects a lot of teenagers that you can see, just makes a huge difference. So just the stories of what we see over and over are amazing.
The moral to that story is, if you haven't started using the products, the Renew 28 Renew Advanced Skincare line, take your before photograph. You'll be amazed at the results. Okay, setting correct expectations is really important. What we have noticed, and ASEA in general, is over a 3-month period, 95% of people on these products notice a significant difference. So if you're setting somebody up with 1 case or 1 tube or 1 bottle of ASEA supplement, if they're only on that for a week, they're only going to notice potentially 15% difference. So set them up for success and do these molecules the justice that they deserve.
Just in terms of the pictures, the before and after photos, if you can just imagine if that's what it does to the wrinkles on the outside, what do you think it's doing to the wrinkles on the inside? That's why we're seeing athletes recovering so much quicker and people dealing with challenges from the inside as well.
Mm-hmm. Another important question for us, I have a science background, so I needed to make sure that these products were scientifically validated. I didn't want to go in and talk to healthcare professionals or anyone else that's scientifically minded without having some evidence. Just makes it really hard. So in terms of what the experts are saying, we've got Anne-Louise Gittleman.
So this lady's pretty amazing. She's written over 30 books, and she says, ASEA, in my humble estimation, is the greatest advance in lifestyle medicine, which harnesses the power of your own body to keep you well.
In fact, she's updated all 30 books to include these molecules, ASEA's products.
That's right. Dr. Gary Samuelson, certainly one of our heroes, he's the atomic medical physicist that's responsible for the stabilization of these molecules, something that science declared was impossible, by the way. He says this technology has the potential to spearhead the greatest advances in health that we have ever seen. So pretty remarkable quotes by a couple remarkable people.
ASEA aligns themselves only with the best laboratories in the world when it comes to the research. One of particular importance is Toro Laboratories. Because ASEA is for personal use only in Australia right now, we can't get into the details on this webinar. We'll give you a website in a minute where you can go and have a look. But in general, the Toro Laboratories study indicated that ASEA switches on 5 genes in key areas of the body, and each gene is responsible for 15 different genetic pathways. So it literally is a scientific breakthrough that's absolutely proven. Go check that study out because it's made an entire difference to what these products represent. In terms of some independent clinical studies, we've got Stevens and Associates and Dermatest, who is a leading dermatological laboratory out of Germany, who conducted a 4-week trial on Renew 28 in particular. What's of notice, to just point a few statistics out, is a 50% increase in blood flow after the very first application of Renew 28. The blood flow in the body is responsible for taking nutrients into the cells and pulling toxins out. So a 50% increase is incredible when it comes to skin health. In terms of the statistic Bart mentioned in the beginning, would you like to look 23% younger in 28 days? Look at wrinkle depth and smoothness. That's certainly the case. And what's exciting is the Renew Advanced Skincare line. The study was done by Dermatest over 8 weeks. Of particular significance to me is the photo aging. Living in Australia and New Zealand, we're definitely exposed more than other countries when it comes to the sun. So a 92% improvement there is life-saving for so many people. When it comes to 4 weeks into the trial, 90% of the participants who didn't know what the products, they weren't branded, didn't know what they were, they wanted to purchase these products. So that really says it all. The research, the products and the technology are not on trial. These molecules were discovered in 1908, so there's been over 64,000 peer-reviewed articles and studies published. If you want to check any of them out, go to pubmed.gov, and there's over 1,200 books that have been written. Some textbooks, which are amazing. This is called REDOX Life.
Yeah, written by Dr. Noreen Naidu. He was nominated for Nobel Prize. Mm-hmm. This was his brochure.
Yeah, that's right. It's an amazing book. You can get your hands on one. So the science is fully validated, as you can see, and the more you dig into it, you'll see that it is validated by third-party experts. Have a look at this website, ASEA'S.com, and do your homework.
This little study from the Huffington Post, 5 emerging technologies in science that will shape our lives in the coming years. And you can see that, that ASEA was listed as number 4, redox signaling technology.
Dr. Dick Walker, who is also a Triple Diamond ASEA associate in ASEA, he's also a board-certified emergency room doctor, as well as having his master's in preventative medicine. He said, right now is the beginning. We'll look back in 10 years and know that right now marks the beginning of redox-based medicine. So he says redox molecules are absolutely changing the way medicine is going to be treating all patients in the future. So let's have a look at how products are marketed. And it's really exciting when you look at this breakdown in terms of...
Absolutely. Look, even my background was with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, talking with literally thousands of business owners. Every single business owner will tell you the very best form of marketing is word of mouth. So as ASEA was looking at the different ways of marketing this product, you can see radio, television, the different ways of marketing, that without question, that word of mouth is by far the best form of marketing. And so particularly with a product that has the kind of impact that this has, and it has a story that goes with it. So we share those stories with people, and we share the story of the culture, the history, and the results of what this product is doing. And it by far is the best way to get the word out to people.
We're really excited about the 36 plus countries that ASEA have expanded into. And without a doubt, we are really, really excited about the timing of what's happening in terms of the official opening in Singapore, Taiwan, Thailand, Philippines, and Hong Kong. In terms of getting an account and getting in before these countries literally propels ASEA into the momentum phase, the 1 billion now is absolutely the time in terms of being able to do that. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, so we're extremely excited about the international expansion. In fact, when you look at it, less than 1/10 of 1% of the people have a clue about what ASEA is. They haven't heard anything about redox signaling molecules. So when you're sharing this with people, it really, quite frankly, doesn't matter who you know, because it just matters who they know. Let me just share a quick little story with you. When I first got involved with this industry, I didn't know anybody that lived outside the United States. And I was living in Hawaii at the time, but I just made a decision I was going to talk with one new person a day. So I talked with my neighbor, who told his brother, who told a neighbor, who told someone, and literally just through this chain of events, ended up having thousands and thousands of people in Europe. And it's the same thing has happened with us with ASEA. Just sharing this technology with people. We've got an amazing group growing in, of course, the U.S., throughout Asia and Europe right now. So the idea is just to spread the word, and anybody and everybody that's connected through you is part of your distribution channel, that you get to have an override on that business, that residual income that comes through on a regular basis.
So what was important in terms of what was our investment with getting an account and joining ASEA to spread the word globally about these molecules? It's only, hold on to it, it's only $54 to be able to get an account with ASEA, and you're in business for yourself.
Look, the interesting thing is most people take it for granted. They actually have no idea what they actually have their hands on, and the power of what this business model can actually create. Instead of spending tens, hundreds, or even millions of dollars to start a business, $54 is get you the ability, get you a position in the compensation plan. And for that position, now you can not only get the products wholesale, but you can create those distribution channels. So we always encourage people to start with either a business pack or an entrepreneur pack. That way you've got a little bit of extra product. You take advantage of the best savings, and you've got a little bit of extra product to to use, to share, to sell, and to get started with.
So get with the person who invited you on tonight's webinar so you can have a look at the pack to make the best decision for you. So in terms of what now, it all depends on what do you see for you. Where do you see yourself? What are your needs? What are you looking to change? And who are the people around you that you'd really like to help? So first step in terms of it being foundational and a must, because now you know that we're all diminished in the production of these molecules, get on the products, get on the technology, use them, fill them. It's phenomenal, but get on for a 3-month process for reasons mentioned earlier. Perhaps your interest, you've got a job, you love it, or maybe you're wanting to transition out of it and you want to build slowly in the beginning. It's to set yourself up with a part-time income. A lot of people do that. And then there's those particularly ambitious people who want to make dramatic changes and they're absolutely ready, and potentially they're looking for an entrepreneurial lifestyle income, which is $10,000 a month and beyond, which is what not only us but several people that we know have been able to achieve. And every cent that we have earned through ASEA and continue to earn through ASEA is because we've changed lives, one cell at a time.
Yeah, for every dollar that you earn, it represents making a difference in people's lives. So I figure we have a moral obligation to make a lot of money.
So get together with the person who invited you and get started. As Bart said before, by making a few introductions and so simply opening some doors, your reward is a percentage of the volume and the distribution channels paid weekly as ongoing residual income. So don't wait to change your life and the lives of others. Don't wait. Change your life and the lives of others by making a living while making a difference. And the only thing I'd add to that is when you're in the decision-making process, make an educated decision. So if it's no for you and you'd like to use the technology and no for the business building, just get enough information, do enough research so you know what you're saying no to. And then in terms of what you're saying yes to, make sure that's educated, because you'll have an epiphany like us when you get to some bigger events, meet the people, you'll realise the opportunity to believe, belong and become like we have. And we're excited to invite you to join us in the greater ASEA family and get started, because you don't want to miss out on the position that you can create right now with the opening and the timing of Asia.
Absolutely. I couldn't, I just want to emphasize that, because the positioning, the timing right now is remarkable. You are at the most remarkable timing in ASEA's history with where we're going.
You don't want to be in this situation. So a decision definitely needs to be made, because I think this is worst case scenario, whether it's your sickness bed or whether it's the end of a long life. Yeah, this we really figured out
what we want to do the rest of our life.
We have. We're very fortunate. For me, this wraps it up in terms of when the Dalai Lama asked what surprised him most about humanity. And this really is a snapshot of society today. Man, he said, because he sacrifices his health in order to make money, then he sacrifices money to recuperate his health, and then he's so anxious about the future that he doesn't enjoy the present, the result being that he does not live in the present or the future. He lives as if he's never going to die, then dies as if he's never really lived. And it gets back to what Tyler said, the most important person is the person right in front of you, but you have to be in a situation where you feel you can be present with them. So you don't have to sacrifice your health to make money, your money to regain health in ASEA. The technology will add life to your years and years to your life natively, as you've now discovered. The business model leverages your time and money, so you don't have to be anxious about the future, and it means you can enjoy the future and live more in the present moment.
So I just want to touch on a really brief story. One of the first people that I thought of when I heard about this technology was Mr. Dan Doyle. Remarkable man that we have just an immense amount of respect for. I called up Danny. I said, Danny, look, I think I found something that could help you. And you can see from this first photo on the far left that he had been dealing with some pretty major challenges. The second photo was about the time that I called Danny to come over to Salt Lake City and check out ASEA. And the third photo is about a year later. You can see that his life has definitely turned around. So we're very excited that to be involved with Dan and to spread this technology globally to change some lives and make a difference. And with that in mind, I'll just give you a quick little heads up that, that Danny is going to be doing the presentation on the Expert in the House next week. So give you a chance to hear his personal story firsthand, just like we've done tonight. So thank you so much for joining us. And definitely jump in, make a big splash. If you can, join us in Queensland on the 17th and 18th. And
on the Gold Coast,
that's
coming
right.
up. Ask the person who invited you what that's all about. Thank you so much for joining us. Look forward to seeing you next week, and can't wait for you to hear from Dan. So thanks again, everybody.
All right. All the best. Bye for now.